Hi and welcome to a Warlock's Tower battle report. This time it's my first game from a tournament on this channel. So it's my first game at NICON, which is a New Zealand tournament held this year in Auckland. It rotates around different towns. And it's my first game to play against Infernal Dwarves. In all honesty, I didn't play an awful lot against Chaos Dwarfs back in 8th edition. Who obviously were very similar. And I'm playing a gentleman called Everett, who is a pretty good player, but apparently he's a bit rusty, he hasn't played for a while. So let's get into his army list and his deployment. So we're playing the objective where we have to get scoring units into our opponent's deployment zone. I basically intentionally deployed heavily on my left, and just to drop a couple of units of chaff on my right, and then a couple of A-bombs to try and stop him from just swinging hard round and bashing into my line. So out on his right flank is a unit of Tarek, each have an extra hand weapon, and next to that is 20 Hobgoblin Archers, a further 20 Hobgoblin Archers, a large monster cannon, which is called a Titan Mortar with a Bound Demon. Now, this is pretty nasty. It's got a heap of wounds, obviously pretty tough. So it combines, to some extent, the best of being a monster with the best of being a war machine, particularly a stone thrower. So, yeah, pretty dangerous sort of beastie. And then next to that is some Infernal Guard. In that is his Lord, who gives the unit hatred. He's pretty survivable with a 2-up, 4-up, strength 6 or 7. I don't know if he's on the charge. And then his BSB, who is pretty much a Dispel Scroll and a Ether Icon to allow dispelling. Next to that is a artillery piece, the volley gun, and then another 20 and 20 Hobgoblin Archers. So looking at this, I didn't know how. Oh, and there's another unit of Tarek behind the lake on the right. So he's pretty much on the right. He's got the best of it. He can push forward pretty hard. And then, so I was completely lying. Behind the lake is 5 Hobgoblin Wolf Riders with a Hobgoblin Chief and 3 Turret behind it. And then out on the left behind the wood is another 5 Hobgoblins with a Hobgoblin Chief, so essentially chaff. So yeah, I like his list. It's pretty tough. I mean, it shoots pretty well, but I mean the Hobgoblins are just going to take a while to chew through. But yeah, it's a tricky list for me to really judge beforehand, so I'm a little bit nervous going in. But basically, out on my right is 10 footpads with slings and nothing else, an abomination, another 10 footpads, and then 2 units of rats. And basically, the rats and the 2 units of footpads would drop really early to see where he was going. When it became obvious he was going to push on his right, I'd set up on the left. I don't think I can fight his dwarfs unless I can get 2 fighter units or soften them up pretty well with A-bombs or shooting. So yeah, I was pretty concerned about his fighter unit of dwarfs, but yeah, I thought if I could get a couple of good shots in or smash the A-bombs in and let them do a job, then things should be all good. Next over, I've got 2 units of Grenadiers, each 8. Just set back a little bit so they're a bit survivable. Play Cord Catapult on the right of the wood, Lightning Cannon on the left. Really pushed out hard left to try and fire down the line of turret units. And then in front of my Lightning Cannon is 28 Clan Rats with Spears and a Warlitter with the Warlord, which has a 2-up because he has the armor which allows him to put toxic attacks if he makes saves, and then he has +3 attack sword if he has more ranks. So yeah, I really like that guy. He's great. Next to that is the Grey Seer. he obviously will hopefully pop back into um, the slaves as and when he needs to, but just because witchcraft, which is level 4, so wizard master, the book, 4 spells, he's pretty useful. And then on the far left is 28 Plague Brotherhood with a potion of strength, lethal strike, assassin. Pretty good. So he pushes forward on the right. He's basically the Terraka are apparently scoring, so he's keen to get them in. He moves the wolves out of the way. Has to reform and slide forward with the Terrak. So he's got 2 Terrak at the front and 1 at the back on the left-hand unit. And then really his left flank stays pretty static, which I'm happy about. I'm trying to hopefully get up, swing round, and then I can push in from the hard left from my Plague Brotherhood and go in the front with my clan rats. So that's broadly the plan, and A-bombs obviously. That's broadly the plan. So yeah, not a lot of movement from him first turn, a little bit of shooting. He hits my clan rats and takes off quite a lot with the monster stone throw thing. I had dropped a lot of my army and elected to go second, figuring I'm out of range of a lot of his shooting. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that decision when I weathered the storm pretty well. Also, it allows you that thing where you can just move into the opponent's deployment zone without worrying about being countercharged. So yeah, I find that's always quite useful. The A-bomb rolled really well, threw himself forward, straight over the hill. Slightly concerning. It would have been nice if he'd stayed behind the hill, obviously being a random mover who can just, saunter over the hill and into combat. So, yeah, it was a bit of a shame he did quite that well, but hey-ho, such is life. The other A-bomb just kind of loitered around, bumped him off some rat swarms, and then, yeah, pushed up hard on my left, got in range with some spells from my Gracia. Out on my left, managed to cast Stupidity on the Hobgoblins, Wolf Riders. So they're pretty likely to fail. I think they're leadership 5 because the -1 is with the guy, and that means I can countercharge them. I know that he's going to dispel it being remains in play in his own phase, but yeah, just to get them to stay there so that I can charge them with my Plague Brotherhood. I really wanted to get rid of that chaff just so that I can then go through his units reasonably fast. I push forward with the footpads, so they're going to get charged, and then I'm not expecting them to do any shooting, but it just means that keeping them out of the deployment zone, because if he overruns, he's going to get a lightning clan down the flank. They get front and flank by the Taluk, so that's a ton of attacks coming their way. He reforms to look down the line of my with his Infernal Guard. Now he has a debate about with a friend of his about if I go into the unit in front of me with the A-bomb, how many I have to kill, and whether I get lucky to kill the Hobgoblins. Now, because he's looking left as we look at it with his Infernal Guard, I've got no intention of going into the Hobgoblins in front. He's moved the Hobgoblins on the unit of archers on the left into the wood, so they're not steadfast. So I can go in, as long as I win combat, they're going to break, and then I can overrun, and then I'll be behind the other unit of Hobgoblins. The A-bomb can spin around, hit them in the flank, and he may or may not do break steadfast turn 1, but he's going to... I'm hoping he doesn't break steadfast when I charge them, and then I can kill them in his turn and then run into either the monster, which I think I lose combat, but I'll do some wounds, or the artillery piece, which I'll definitely win combat. So yeah, I'm really happy about this position. As long as he weathers the shooting reasonably well, it's all to the good, and he really should. It's only bows firing at him and a stone thrower, which does D3. So yeah, having said that, he takes 4 wounds. It's the story of my life that A-bomb, as soon as they're in good positions, just take a heap of shooting and just get ground down. The Plague Brotherhood charge the 5 wolves and the almost no kit Hobgoblin Chief. I don't know how many attacks it is. 12. It's 20 attacks with the assassin and all the rest of it, and I managed to kill 3, which is completely fluff. The attacks, he's only got 4 up armor. I don't know how many the Amateur should do, but it really should go a lot better than that. I'm frenzied, so I chase them, but they get away, and yeah, bit of a problem having 2 potential chaff units. So the fact there's 1 on 1, and as he says, there were 6 of them, so they're not even below 25%, so they're rallying on full leadership. So absolute nightmare, really. As you see, they're over behind the hill. I can see them with the Plague Brotherhood, but if I'm charging them, I'm not turning around and heading back into the main unit. So as I say, my intention is to go into the unit in the woods on the left. The way it worked out was either of the units were about a 6. I think I needed a 6 on dice to get in. And then it's not a very long overrun to get my base out of the way to, if I break them, which obviously they're not steadfast, so very likely to break them. And then I overrun. I think it was auto, like 3 to overrun, I measured, so that the Infernal Guard can't wheel round and contact me. And then, so 6 on the dice needed, averaging 2s, and I go and roll 2 2s and a 1, end up just short with my A-bomb. And yeah, it's a major problem because his Infernal Guard are looking at it. Yeah, it's a long charge. It was 8 or 9 on the dice. Infernal Dwarves come in. I'm not expecting the A-bomb to last very long, but I'm hoping he takes out 5 or 6 of the Infernal Guard before he goes. But massive swing. So yeah, the Hobgoblins escaping. I mean, 2 Hobgoblin Wolf Riders, you kind of think, oh, who cares? But they're going to rally on a 7, I think. Or they've got the opportunity to rally on a 7. And then he can split up. And there's basically a 1 wound unit and the hero on 2 or 3 wounds, so absolutely very frustrating. Anyway, and then my unit of clan rats has been whittled down a bit further. So yeah, this is a bit of a mistake. I didn't think I'd made this mistake, but I thought I'd lined up better. But basically, as we look at it, the plan is that the Infernal Dwarves can charge into the rat swarm. They'll obviously destroy them, and then they'll overrun, and they have to overrun into the second rat swarm. So yeah, it seems pretty close to me. I could have put the footpads there as well, but I really didn't see the need. And they're a scoring unit. I want a movement 6 scoring unit, potentially 7 or 8 movement with Witchfire. So yeah, it was good. The Hobgoblin Wolves have rallied. I forget their 18 move. I'd increased the movement of the Plague Brotherhood, so I thought I'd got it so that he couldn't get around in front. But yeah, movement 9 is huge. So yeah, and then I roll with the A-bomb. It was actually quite a long roll, but to kill the Hobgoblins, smash through them, and then that puts me in the flank of the Tower Rock. But again, end up too short, literally 2 TWO as opposed to TOO. And if he goes into me with the Tower Rock, I can then shoot into combat with the globes, start chipping wounds off. But no, was not to be. So I'm expecting a counter charge from the Tower Rock rather than being able to overrun out of the way. So yeah, so this was the mistake, that basically he could see the second unit of Rat Swarm, so he charged it with his monster. Again, it was a very long charge, and he makes it. Oh, I don't think it was that long, but it was 8 or 9, not Swift Stride. Makes that charge. So the theory goes, obviously, he fights the Rat Swarm combat first, destroys them, and then that then frees up the Infernal Guard. It doesn't look like on this photo, but they are overrunning into the Rat Swarm. So yeah, bit of a problem there. Fortunately, this is my one bit of luck for the game, really. He leaves the Rat Swarm on 1 wound, so the Infernal Guard choose to reform rather than flow through and bump into it. Tower Rock, complete the charge into the flank, do 3 or 4 wounds. I can't remember if I've taken one already. And then I kill one in return and pass my great test. Failed to reform though, unfortunately. Yeah, next turn the Infernal Guard go in and absolutely destroy my unit. So I charged, figuring I was going to be charged with both my Skaven Assassin, because the unit had been chaffed up by the chieftain, or the Hobgoblin chieftain, in the woods, and so I charged him out of the unit into it, and I charged my Clan Rats, popped the Potion of Strength, did the Armor of Power, so I've got a Strength 8 and a Strength 6 character, both with a bucket load of attacks. Unfortunately, both of them completely whiffed, and I think I did 3 wounds total from the 2 characters and the unit, and then he just smashed me back. Obviously, I think I was an auto break back through the Globadiers. So the reason there's a rank missing is because I hit with a Plague Catapult before. Then my unit with my Generaling gets run down. He follows on to the Globadiers. That's going to be a very one-sided combat. And then unit Globadiers break and run from the panic test. Next, unfortunately I didn't take enough photos of it. He got pretty frenetic. He killed to a man the unit of Globadiers. That then broke the footpads. That allowed him then a long overrun 9, not Swift Stride, into my bunker, Clan Rats with my Grey Seer, who got wiped out. So yeah, it was not pretty. The only thing that was a saving grace is I managed to reform my Plague Monks, Plague Brotherhood, so that they went into his deployment zone, which kind of meant he had 1 unit of Tower Rock in my deployment zone, so I held the extra objective, and that gave me 16-4. Yeah, got smashed a bit. It wasn't even down to he fled from my charges with Hobgoblins. They rallied on the board edge. It was just one of those games that there weren't massively lucky dice, but everything was just right. And so, yeah, it was kind of frustrating that it swung so big on not a lot. To me, the absolute key thing was the Plague Brotherhood and the Assassin not killing the Hobgoblin Wolves. It just allowed him to pull around and just hold up that unit. If that unit had gone in the flank, it would have made such a huge difference to that combat, and therefore the game. I think potentially I win the game, potentially I break that unit of Dwarves rather than being broken by that unit of Dwarves. So huge swing. It was a fun game, but it put me down towards the bottom tables. So yeah, interesting game, a good game. So you can't argue with that. It's always good to be playing in tournaments. So lots of fun. So there's going to be more games from this tournament coming up shortly, as and when I get to upload them. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Bye.